Hello everybody and welcome to the OVRC, welcome to Imola for the second round of the GT Championship. I am Alex and we've got my co-host Owen with me.
Hello, welcome back to another OVRC GT Series race. How exciting!
Yep, we are, as I said earlier, we're at Imola, a track we have not been to since Season 2. I think it's round 3 of that season, which was back in the day our largest ever season, but this season so far after Spa has blown out of the water, so it should be a very good race today. So let's quickly talk about Imola circuit. The circuit itself is a 4.9 kilometer long circuit with 17 corners in it. With a lot of them are really kinks, but they count as corners, so we'll count them as corners. And obviously we refer to the track map which you are using, which is might be able to get a link to if you really want to follow along there. Obviously we've got the live timing available as well if you want to keep track of the cars as they are going around with your own numbers. Because obviously we're going to miss some stuff because last time was a very exciting race in a lot of places, wasn't it, Owen?
Yeah, there's a lot happening in the yeah, kind of hard for us to keep up. So I'm sure you missed a lot. Hopefully, you won't miss as much this time, but we'll see.
This is coming. This race is coming. Obviously, last week was the first TC series, which was very successful. But this time it's back to GTS, and we're just gonna quickly give you a rundown of the current order in the championship. So you've obviously can't get any visuals on display right now, but we can say currently leading the GT1 is Thomas Jensen, um, followed by Tom Dentist, John Dalton, Radek, and Connor Mathiasen. That's a top 5. In GT1, the current team standings are going with Connor and John's team leading that over Thomas Jensen's team, because obviously Thomas didn't have his teammate racing. There has been a change of teammate for this race. Charlie Darling has been knocked out of that team and it's been replaced with Robert Nygaard, who's moved up into GT1. Obviously all his points have been reset because moving up to a class. And then we've got obviously MR2, which unfortunately got last in the chubs after Gonzalez did get a DNF last race. I remember running out of fuel on the last lap or something around that area.
Yeah, I think yeah, very close to the finish line. Only a couple corners left, if I remember correctly. So that was a real shame.
A shame for them because they would probably got a decent points finish there, and probably wouldn't. They're quite far back, about 15 points behind second place in the team championship. Obviously, the team championship is new for this season in both the TC and GT, so it's been interesting how it's going to fold out over the course of the season. If you want to quickly go for the top 5 in the GTR3 class, Owen, that'd be wonderful.
Wait a second. Yes, so top 5 in GT3. Number 1 is Marcus Lawrence with 25 points. In second, we have Anton Grievalainen with 20 points. Andreas Kuderman in third with 16 points. Jordan Wonsink in fourth with 13 points. And Timothy Haynes with 11 points in fifth.
And in the current team standings, Concrete Racing are currently leading it with 38 points. So that's quite a big gap to the pace and over the curbs and far away, which was Atin Kovalain's and originally Robert Nygaard's team. But since Robert Nygaard's moved up, it does seem that it's going to be a fight over Atin Kovalainen by himself, unless he can find a teammate to keep with him the rest of the season. Which will be both that, followed by Nissan Nismo Tango team in third. Berlin Motorsport and a Max Motorsport in 5th in the team championships. Obviously, it's all available on the website. If you want to look a bit further, see the race results and any other bits of information is on there as well. So we've got 1 minute till practice will be going live on the race server, and I don't really know what much is going to happen because obviously there's been a couple of sign-outs before the race has begun, so it'd be unfortunate to see that happen. But sometimes again, things happen and people can't make the races, but hopefully we should get a good race no matter what. So as the clock hits 7 British summertime, the server pass would be given out, and the drivers should soon be making their way onto the server. So,
Who will be first?
who will be
On the server?
first? That's always the important
Will
question.
it be Thomas Jensen? No, actually, it's Maxim van der Hoven.
Thomas is third, which means that he's going to lose this race, obviously, and let's cancel the race now, because that's what matters, is obviously who gets on the first server. Mark Whitford's on the server as well after his unfortunate DNF last race because of the auto kicker, unfortunately.
Yeah, he turned off his engine on the start-finish line while waiting for the rolling start to save some fuel, and unfortunately, if you do that in race room, you get kicked to the pit lane instantly.
Maxim van der Hoeve is going around now. He's the first one out on track. He's in the BMW M6 GT3 and all immediately loses it going through turn 2. Oh, Tamburello. I'm going to have a go at pronouncing the names of these corners. They are not the easiest to pronounce as you don't really speak Italian. Fortunately, he's now heading into the Villeneuve chicane, I guess. That is. To turn 7. You start going up the hill here. I mean, it is a slight incline at Imola. Go up the hill. Lighting up to turn 8. A common spots for cars to go very wide during qualifying. I went back in season 2. A lot of people were struggling up there to keep on track. You start going down the hill into turn 9. And turn 9 then up to turn 10. And you go back up the hill again. Start heading towards believe it's called Alta, which is a quick chicane up here. Again, another spot which has been tricky in qualifying due to the track limits. Start heading down towards turn 13. Which is that little flick there, and then turn 14 with heavy braking zone, no common danger zone as such. A lot of incidents happened there last time we raced here, just due to the fact it's downhill, so the cars do lighten up a lot going down. I have turn 15, and they head on to the back straight, which has technically got turn 16 and 17 in it, but you get the idea. That is a quick lap of Imola. Now, I can't remember, were you racing here in Season 2?
I can't remember either. I'll have to check.
It was a while ago now.
Remember when we were called GMDRC?
Yes. Which back then.
Oh yeah, I did that race, finished 14. Finished ahead of you.
Instead of me, there we go. I know that's a very poor race, but I won't mention too much on the past then, because that was a long time ago, back when I was still driving a car. Before we got into this lovely commentary box position. We'll soon see our first timed lap, as Hanover is still out on track. A few other cars are starting to slowly make their way onto the server. I did some quick laps here, just practicing generally, and in the Callaway Corvette, just to get some practice in and just get a bit of driving done. And this circuit is a very difficult circuit, and it's going to be quite hard for the GT1s to deal with the traffic, I think, going around here. got our first times lap. 1:45.5.
Robert Nygaard is going a few seconds faster than that actually, so he'll be crossing the line about now. And he puts down a 140.0. Of course, that's in the GT1 class, and Van den Hove is in GT3, so not entirely comparable times. But it does mean that we should get below 140 in GT1.
Yeah, I think the quickest times possible in GT3 are 1:41. So this track is actually not that the gap between the two cars is not that far apart. Because a lot of high-speed corners here, with the GT1 surprisingly much of an advantage because they're a lot faster in the straight, but corners they do lack the downforce necessary to really make the most of it. At least for our current leaders in the championship. He's got one car out of Connor. Connor Mathiesen is still going out, so they should hopefully maybe get some points out of this race. The absence of Sir John Dalton, unfortunately, signed down to the race today. Can't make it, unfortunately, so he'll be hoping his teammate can get a good result for them. That's Anton Kovalainen across the line with 1:44.2. We've got 12 cars on server, with not all of them out on track right now, a few of them are in the pits, as I believe it's Robert Nygaard on the ball at turn 7. So he must have gone in that.
Yeah, it was. He's back in the pit lane now.
Back in the pit lane now. Right now, Kovalainen is second in the GT3 Championship. He's looking to try and get a bit more points this race, as his rival, I believe, is now on the server as well. So let's see if he can try and get a good result here. As he's still in the 44s. Remember, if you are interested in joining us, you can sign up on the website. Unfortunately, due to the numbers we're getting, you may be put onto a reserve list. But there's always, it seems to be a case where most people will not all be able to make it, so you always will get a chance to eventually race. So don't be too scared about that. Sign up, and hope at some point you will be able to have a go. We welcome all drivers from all skill levels because we're nice like that. How many cars are out on track? There's very few real movements moving on around here. Still only 5 times set. 2 of them being GT1s and 3 of them being GT3 times. Motorwork going on right now on track. Not really. Jorgen Wolby's on the server now after his no-show last race, so he's now here. Trying to look through the list of current drivers and who is important around here. Thomas Jensen sets the fastest time right now, 1:39.7.
Tom Dentist did go faster in Sector 1. So he's going up to the Variante Alta right now. Let's see what he does in Sector 2. And he also improves 7/10 down on the current time by Jansen.
He just about, I believe, stays in there as he goes all over the curbs then during the chicane now. I will probably refer to the corners by the numbers. Oh, we'll use the names because he can do the names properly. Around he goes, now that towards the stuff is a bit wide on the exit turn 15 there.
Jansen is also improving his lap, but he ran into some GT3 traffic, so I'm not sure he'll be able to improve from here. He was down on Dentist in Sector 1 and Sector 2, but let's see what the traffic has done for him in Sector 3, and yeah, it did cost him a lot of time, it seems. Still improved on his old lap.
I like to mention
but did not improve on Dentist.
Dentist's time's 1:38.888. That's 4.8.
Nice.
That's 4.8. That's gonna mean something. That's gonna mean something like some spirits are gonna like give his car an extra 12 horsepower or something. I don't know. Moving on, we got Thomas Siak, currently in GT3. He's currently P2 in class as he's looking to improve his time.
Yep, Dentist also 3/10 down on his Sector 1.
Right, speaking of people got back, we've got Kevin Naff is now back. Unfortunately missed the first race, but he's now back and he's in my old Z4. So keeping his position of Naff stealing my old cars, yeah, he's in the Z4 now. Unfortunately not out on track, he's in the pit lane, but it's nice to see him back. It's familiar faces.
Connor Mathieson is going faster than Dentist in Sector 1. So he's down in P4 right now. Let's see if he can challenge for P1.
Connor's got a bit of traffic. One of the Nissans, so it's going to affect his lap unfortunately. Puts himself P3. I believe that traffic did hold him up quite a bit then. It's just you're meeting during the last sector, which is a place which is very hard for cars to overtake. There's currently 16 cars on the server right now, with 11 of them set timed laps. It's still very early days in practice, so we should see some more cars eventually make their faces known. Interesting to see Emily sticking to that Mustang. I hope he gets a bit of a better race than last time, as he is out on track right now. Yes, time. Jones across the line does not improve his time. Denter's improving his time by quite a bit in sector 1. Heading down towards the bottom of the hill, up he goes, heading towards up to the outer chicane. Still waiting for a bit more driver skill on the server. It's an hour practice, so there's no real rush for most of the drivers to get on. Towards the start finish line. Not improve his time, he does seem to lose quite a bit in the final sector. Woo! Back there, one of the hoof crosses over the track when Thomas Jensen comes flying past. That was a bit scary for Thomas Jensen to see that car fly right in front of him. It does seem to be going fine on track right now, so there doesn't seem to be any contact made, but it's not really particularly happy about that going on. Seen so far, which is of note right now in this practice session?
Well, Tom Dentis is of course improving again, and I think that looks to be about it right now. There's a couple of people in GT3 on a fast improving their personal laps.
So Thomas going past one of the common spots, I think, for the GT1 to be able to pass the GT3s going to chicane there, because it's one of the spots where they can get enough speed to really get side by side with them. Obviously they can do it in turn 14, but it's always risky down here to do an overtake due to the fact it's downhill and the cars get very, very slippery moving down there. And as I said before, a couple of cars did have incidents down there, and quite commonplace to see cars to go straight on there into the gravel trap. Incoming 17 cars on the server. Just see a few more hopefully a bit later on. I don't know how many cars we had eventually on track by the first race. We had quite a few on there. It's quite a busy, sparse circuit. I don't know if it's going to be nearly as busy this time around, but hopefully we get similar numbers. Let's see him with the game. Kevin Naff looking to set a improved time right now. He's already down in P14. You can put a little Z4 then. Moves up to P12. Just behind Hillemans. Interesting to see what two SLSs out on track. The older version of the AMG. Interesting to see where those cars end up. Because apparently they're quite a bit more of a handful from what real drivers say about the SLS. And how good it is in game. Because obviously this car we didn't really pick. Because why would you pick it over the AMG? The AMG is sort of there. Very worth noting that Tom Dentist moved his fastest lap to 138.159. Quite a bit quicker than the way he was before. Both Thomas Jensen's also invalidated his lap time as he's trying to improve himself up. He's still in the 158.858. So about 7/10 off Tom Dentist's time right now as he goes around the outside of Emily in the Mustang. Marcus Lawrence, currently leading the GT3 class, is improving his time. Going down now to 10:14. He also won Spa, so he's looking to get another win here if possible. But he may be have a bit more competition this time around because some of the drivers are a bit closer this time around. His teammates currently sitting in P8 overall as well. Both of them looking to try and get the best result possible for their team championship as well as their drivers championship. So we've got more cars on. We've got we've got Radek's now on the server. Okay, who else is now joined? Oh, Charlie Darling's on the server.
Wow, that's a surprise. I haven't heard of Charlie in a while, but he's just joined the server, so nice to see him back.
I'm gonna be honest, he was talking to me earlier on Discord. I kept it a secret. Just sort of surprise everyone, but he is here.
Cheeky.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have a teammate anymore because his teammates unfortunately left him for Robert. So he's looking to make his mark again, saying, "Why did you abandon me? I was here all along. I just had to miss one race. Maybe you'll team up with Thomas. We don't know. Anything can happen. That'd be interesting to see." Tom Dentist and Charlie Darling teaming up in the Ford GTs versus Thomas Jensen and Robert Nygaard. I would have unfortunately put the favour into Tom Dentist's team if that happened. Because I think Charlie is a slightly stronger driver than Robert.
As
then again, he's been away.
Went off. He just spun. Yeah, Jensen just spun in Minerali.
And again, Charlie's not been racing forever, so we don't know what might happen. He may be amazing, or he may be terrible. Last time we saw him race, though, was Monza last season? I think it had to be Monza last season was the last time we saw him race. And he was in the Alpina. That race, I can't remember who won that race. I think it was Thomas Jensen, but I remember something significantly happened in that race because I think it was Tom Dentist managed to somehow have a really poor race until the pit stops and then managed to somehow sneak second place out of it somehow. Because the McLaren was really struggling there in top speed. And it was not having the easy time getting around there. We currently have 20 cars now on server. The majority of them always being the ever popular GT3 class. There's actually quite a few GT1s this time out. How many you got? 7 of them. 8 of them actually, I lie. We've got 8 GT1s, so not a bad mix so far between the two classes. A bit more than the last time. Of course, we've got some drivers are missing this race. As both the 81 Nissans are currently not together, but very close times right now in P9 and P10. your screen right now, looking to improve his time. He's currently P9. Puts himself up to
Yeah.
P8.
Just noticed Jorgen Walby is also in the server. He was missing. He missed the last race, so nice to have him back.
So it seems like I think unfortunately the first race, the timing of it was just on the edge of the holidays, unfortunately. But everyone's back for the rest of it, hopefully, and it should be a very good season. Never know, maybe something happens to the leaders of the championships. Yeah, normal accident. Maybe we can arrange something. Just pay someone to, like, oh no, a random NSU's appeared on track. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's nice to have the people back on track. Nafis looking to improve his time. He's currently sitting in P13. It's quite far down the order, both in overall and his class. He does not improve his position. He does improve his time, I believe. Well, no, he gets it validated. I can see how popular Nissan is this season. On the server right now alone, there's 5 of them, 5 Nissans. Towards the 32-minute mark. See the car start heading out on track for the first time out. Radek's now out on track. I believe we've lost someone on the server. I think that might have been David Simon, who is no longer on the server. Didn't actually set a time lap beforehand.
Yeah, would be correct.
What's quite going on over there? Mansink is currently P9 looking to improve his time. He's in one of the Nissans, coming down in the P9. Then no, but it gets put P10 because Caesar Kuma has set the fastest time in GT3. There we go. 1:42.278, which is not much faster, but about 10th faster than Lawrence's time. It'll be quite interesting to see who will win the lead in that compartment between those two cars.
Yeah, Charlie Darling put himself in 5th so far in the GT1, so at the back of the GT1 field, but of course still 31 minutes to go in this practice session and then qualifying and race, so plenty of time for him to improve on that.
I mean, he's got over, let's think about it, he's got over 2 hours now before the end of the race to improve his current positioning and his pace. He's got plenty of time to get something done. Looking to improve his current times. He's currently sitting in P9, so he's a bit further up the field beforehand. But he's looking to try and improve his position right now. And last time he came second at Spa, but he had a fairly empty race. Not much action going around him, but obviously this time with a lot more of the high caliber GT3 drivers out this time round, it should be a bit more action going up at the front of that field. Interesting to see if none of the Nissan GTRs are out in GT1. Sebastian Brunier and Gonzalez are not out at all on the server or on track right now.
Yeah, I'd expect Brunier to join soon. He's one of the regulars, so I think he'll be there. We'll see if Gonzalez shows up. Of course, he's only been in 1 race so far.
Malzek is looking to set his first time in GT1 as he just passed Hooves just then. Another car drop out. I'm guessing to be still adjusting some of their settings. This generally does happen during the practice sessions. Because there's no real need to rush anything at this point in time. It's about getting things, make sure everything's ready for qualifying practice. Rallying is very wide into turn 6 on the exit turn 6. So he's not getting a very good time now.
Yeah, it was Mark Whitford who dropped out because of internet issues. He just reported in chat, so hopefully he can get that fixed in time for the race and for qualifying, of course.
We're going to have a quick commentary break. We'll keep the stream obviously playing in the background, and we'll see you guys in a couple of seconds. Hello everybody and welcome back to the OVRC for round 2 of the GT series. We're at Imola and we're about 23 minutes left of qualifying to go as Charlie Darling has taken P2 in practice. So literally just coming on from not racing for about a month and it's in P2 right now in class in practice session. So we've got an interesting fight on our hands, lads, as we got a few cars still yet to rejoin, a few cars yet to join at all. So hopefully we have a very exciting race in all classes as we've got a few more drivers this time round compared to last time. Oh, Charlie Darling goes into the wall there. What goes on there with him as Radek Palsek is currently all the way in P6 in class, so he's looking to improve his current positioning. We are still yet to see any of the Nissan GTRs on track right now, so we don't exactly know what's going on with them right now. We'll wait and see until they arrive, as Rad's got Connor Mathiassen's Ford in front of him. Get that pass as he does. Improve his current positioning in P6. Connor right now it's in P4 right now, second off Tom Dentis's time. Tom Dentis is still leading the way in terms of pace at Imola right now. Speaking of the Nissans, we have Sebastian Brunner's now finally on the server, so that's one of the Nissans is arrived. Don't know if we'll see the other one today, hopefully we do. Could be great to see both of those Nissans back again to try and fight for their team championship. And the GT1 class has suddenly got very interesting indeed with Charlie Darling being back, with Robert Nygaard entering now. We had Wolby is now back, and hopefully maybe if Gonzalez gets on, we should have a very interesting fight for the top spots, well, the podium spots at least anyway. Interesting fight in GT3 between the top few as we have our first 151 time in GT3 by Cesar Kimo with a 141.8. Right now, as you can see on screen, is letting a new time to lap to see if he can move himself up the order. He moves himself into P2 with that last lap, so moves himself again to Charlie Darling, his ex-teammate, because last race he got dropped from the team, and now he's got a new teammate in the form of Robert Nygaard, but Robert Nygaard's coming in 5th place, so I think Charlie's on a slight mission here to make him regret the decision. Welcome back, Erwin.
Hello, I'm back.
Back. So I'll get some commentaries done now while we have, as you can see, obviously, we've got a few more to, and Gonzalez is on the server now. There we go.
I was just about to say.
We have a full packed GT1 field. This is going to be interesting now. Jensen's trying to look to find the last few attempts, try and beat Tom Dentis, who's been holding on to that time for a while now. It's been a while since that time has been beaten. There's maybe the lap now by Thomas Jensen as he heads into the last 2 corners. doesn't. He's getting closer, but he's still not there yet. So let's have a quick rundown of the order, shall we, Owen?
Yeah, by the way, something worth noting is that all but one of the GT1 drivers are now in the server, so only John Dalton is missing, as he let us know before.
So it is base. If he was here, it'd be a full packed GT1 field. I think he's going to be kicking himself for missing this race because this is going to be one hell of a race in the GT1 class. Let's see.
Indeed, that's going to be interesting.
Let's see how it is going to be in GT3 though, as we seem to have a fight for the top two spots between Teaser and Marcus. And Kovalainen doesn't seem to be quite close enough to really tackle those two. But let's go down the order very quickly. So currently in GT1, Dentist is leading the way, followed by Jensen, Darling, Tiersen, Nygaard, Palzak, Brunier, Wolby, and currently right now Gonzalez yet to set a time. He's sitting in the pit lane right now. We'll keep on through to GT3, Owen.
Wait a second. Top 5 on GT3?
Sure.
So the top 5 in GT3 right now is in first Cesar Contreras. Yes. Then in second we have Marcus Lawrence, in third Anton Kovalainen, in fourth Thomas Seak, and in fifth Jordan Wonsink.
Mark Whitford is now back on for server. Hopefully his conditions do resolve themselves, as he's slightly worrying about the possibility hopefully going to have some fix his issues, because otherwise you say you might not race because it's not worth ruining races for others with his connection issues, but hopefully they resolve themselves. Saying that, he now puts himself into P4 in class, just behind Kovalainen. I still think China's on some of a mission though to prove that Thomas Jensen not to drop him out the team. Because not showing up for one race, gets dropped from the team because Thomas doesn't think he's going to be showing up. Joins the next race. Oh, Radek goes into the wall there, out of turn 4. That's quite a big off then. And then lost the car at the back end of the car, swinging all over the place there, and so it looks like he just lost control of it. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, Charlie Diamond's got a mission to prove. He's going to prove himself, saying, I'm here for business. Why did you drop me? I still think the best thing for him to do is join Dentist in the team. And that would really throw a curveball into the team standings, I think, for GT1. I mean, the only team that's going to struggle this time around is going to be, unfortunately, Connor's and John's team. As unfortunately, John, as I said before, is out of this race. Just kind of all by himself, trying to get as many points as you can for that team. I think it's a slightly better race than he had at Spa. Stendu is kind of saying, is on an outlap right now in the SLS, as you can see there. Not very much used anymore, because obviously it was used quite a bit before the AMG got added. Then the AMG got added to Race Room, and the SLS sort of slid into Ospelite. Ospelite? That's not how you pronounce it. You get the other point. It's not really used much anymore because it in theory is an inferior car to the AMG, but it's nice to see some of these older cars get a run around. So the Z4. Gonzalez is saying his first timed lap in the number 5 Nissan.
Yep.
We've got 22 cars on the server with 13 minutes to go. But the most impressive part is that we've got a packed out GT1 field. Last time it was pretty packed field altogether, but the top class has got 9 cars running in it. Can't say much about that in most other series, can you? I mean, World Endurance Challenge struggles to get that many LMP ones in it. Only difference, we don't have a Toyota ruining everything here. Steve Higgins is now on the server as well. He is in the AMG. His AMGs are struggling to keep up to pace right now, with the highest all the way in P17. As it seems like the Nissan is just dominating the top of GT3 right now. Gonzalez puts himself into P7, just in front of his teammate, but behind Robert Nygaard, so they're going to have a hard race to try and get a bit more points for them. Oh, got 2 more cars as well. I can't read their names unfortunately from here, but there's 2 McLarens on.
Yes, those are Eloy Carballo and James Butler.
McLaren, another car which has fallen out of favour this season. And it goes back to the whole cars need to have phases right now in terms of this in the OVRC. In season 2, it was very much a Porsche, Audi, McLaren battle. Last season, there's barely any Porsches compared to the other cars out there. I can't remember what the most popular car last season was. But this season, it's definitely the Nissan. In GT3 at least. GT1 is actually quite a good mix of cars. We've got 2 Nissans, right now 2 Fords, with 3 Fords in total. And I think Starlene's the only one which was obviously more popular than the rest. Sebastian Bruno 40 his lap of and pulls over to the side of the chicane as one of the GT3 Nissans drives past him. Let's play a game. How confused are we going to get by looking at that timing bar to the side there with those Nissans? Spot the GT1. We just had a dropout. Oh, Charlie Darling's dropped out. I think it might be a quick settings change. Nothing much more than that, but hopefully he is here for the race because he is definitely providing the challenge right now for the top 2. With literally 0 practice coming into this, he was proving himself as a good driver. He always was a very good driver, but it's a bit like some drivers take some time to get back into racing again after spending a lot of time not doing it. I'm one of those. You got a few others like that where they're just awfully off the pace after not racing for a while. But then you get Charlie and Thomas and Tom, which like, oh, I haven't raced for a month. Let me hop into this car and set fastest laps. You get a few drivers like that. Gonzalez moves on to P4, so just outside of the podium spots in practice, because there's totally a podium for practice. Anything anything worth mentioning there when you spotted so far, or is it still fairly quiet?
It's fairly quiet at the moment. Thomas Sayek is currently improving his personal lap. So he's down in P13 in overall right now. He's in one of the GT3 Nissans, and he did not improve in Sector 2, so we'll see.
We will see indeed.
As Gordon Gunn also just joined the server in another McLaren.
Was he in a McLaren last time? I don't believe he was. No, he wasn't McLaren. He changed it. I can't remember. Steve Higgins is now on the server. And he was on the server before, but he's now setting timed laps. He's got one of the BMW of Hoove right behind him right now. And the BMW car, which is... Someone used to run it in the GMDRC days. And he used to run it all the time. And then he sort of... I don't know where he's gone. He sort of disappeared, fortunately. But anyway, the M6 is there, and he's doing pretty well for himself. Well, not in the... he's in the top 10, which is all that matters. We do give points out for people outside the top 10. We give all the way down to P14. Well, technically P15, but we give 1 point to anyone who finishes the race, because we're kind like that, aren't we, Erwin? Six minutes to go until the driver's briefing. And when they discuss the obviously rolling start procedure. Let's hopefully this time it goes a bit better than last time, because last time was a bit of chaos in the back of the GT3 pack. Of course, we did miss it because we're focusing too much on the GT1s at the time. But because Gonzalez set fast to sector 1, so there's still more to happen in this session.
Yeah, he's 2 tenths behind in Sector 2. So it doesn't look like he'll be taking P1, as he can pull something off in the final sector, but he should be challenging for P3.
3 different cars in the top 3 spots in this practice session. Who would have thought of that coming into this league at Spa when it was clearly domination by Tom Jensen that time round? Gonzalez does put himself P3, so that does mean we have a Ford, a Saleen, and a Nissan in the top 3 spots. But then again, Ford can get all the credit because the Saleen's actually Ford powered. It's got a Ford V8 in the back of that Saleen. So if you're Ford, you must be very happy. We've got 26 cars on track right now. On track, but on the server, I mean. For 5 minutes to go. A few of them get set times. There's about 6 of them get set times. Right, Whitford is currently sitting P11. So in the podium spot in GT3. We've got a lot of, it's about 5 tenths off the pace in that class.
Yeah, so let's see if he can challenge Contreras for pole position in qualifying.
It was since a Porsche's won an OVRC/GT GMDRC race. Can't remember the last time one did actually win. a look at the live timing, see if people improved. Mark did improve that lap, so he is getting slowly closer. Maybe close enough. Gonzalez sets a faster set to 1 with 3 minutes to go in the session. It's all a matter if he can make it in time to make this lap count.
So Stephen Higgins is trying to set his first timed lap in practice. So let's see where he ends up. And he's 21st. So quite a way down at the moment.
Oh, Charlie Darling's back on the server. So he seems to have literally just doing some setting adjustment. Trying to get himself a bit more comfortable before the race begins.
So Thomas Jensen sets a new faster sector 1, but he's got a lot of GT3 traffic right now.
Yes.
So I don't think this will be a fast lap.
Now I've got Steve Higgins in front, see if we can pull it out of the way. 1 minute 30 to go, so you won't be able to set another timed lap after this. No, he does lose a lot of time then, so I think this is going to be his practice session over. Wolby's done a very good job though, he's currently P7, which is not the fastest, but he's ahead of Sebastian Brunier. So, for his first race return, he might be able to do some Wolby magic with his tyres. Don't know if that works in GT1, but he's very well known in GT3 to make tyres last a bit longer than everyone else. I don't think we're going to see much more cars out on track with under a minute to go, as the cars will probably start heading to the pits now, or the driver's briefing. So basically people
So yeah, does look like that will be it for practice.
Again, practice doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, because it's all qualifying the race to go. It's worth noting the difference between the slowest GT1 and the fastest GT3 is 1.7 seconds. Right, we're going to now move into the driver's briefing. So, just looking at practice, because I obviously can't look too much at the practice. What do you think the current field is looking like right now? Who do you think is going to take this pole position here?
Well, in the GT1s it will be either, I think either Jensen or Dentist. They do look to be as fast as usual. And then in the GT3s it will be between Marcus Lawrence and what was his name? Contreras.
Tara's. I pronounced
So
that right.
yeah. So maybe Mark Whitford can still challenge them, but it does look like Contreras and Marcus Lawrence are really ahead of Whitford in practice. So I think it will be between them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I mean, GT1 looks very competitive right now. Maybe Charlie can get something, maybe Gonzalez can get a good lap out. It'd be interesting to see how these cars do. Just looking down the field, obviously the list we get here is what people finished in practice. I'm just looking at it. It's quite competitive in further down the field. I think in GT3 with those times, it could be well just out the points area. Fights for those last few points will be very crucial overall in the championship, because if you do miss a race or someone else misses a race, you can easily make those points back. So points all do matter, even though you always get most of the time a point or a few. It's always worth keeping in mind that prepare for the future and prepare for what other people are going to do around you. Driver briefings do take a bit longer in GT series because they've also got to prepare the rolling stop procedure. So, what's going to happen this qualifying with the great big rush as normal? Well, do you think we're going to see it again?
You probably will.
The famous now OVRC, everyone rushing out the pit lane as quick as possible, even though there's plenty of time for us to wait a while. Looking on the pit lane, you can see how many different cars we have. Ignore all the Nissans, you can see. I still got to get out how many Nissans we have this season. Nissan was always a car which like one or two people used, but this season there's just so many of them.
Yeah, I've got. Don't know if that's on your screen as well, but right now I've got a BMW merging with a Porsche, so that looks a bit strange.
It's the new technique of the VW group to somehow merge BMW into them. See them engines running, pit lane. Sort of hear them rumbling, as you can see on screen. Oh, Nath is rolling forwards very slowly, Nath. I see you there. Who is at the end of the pit lane? Higgins. Oh yeah, now you can see on screen that the BMW 911 RS GT3R. Whatever you want to call it there. It does blend in very well on the front.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, for how big the Porsche's become. That should be underway very shortly. So all this stuff takes a while to prepare because it's just the nature of things. I believe we're getting maybe some cars very soon hopping out. Oh, got an engine fired up on the Nissans. GTR there. Oh, we have a few other cars firing their engines up. I believe we're going to go qualifying now. There we go. And there we go. There's our rush of cars coming out the pit lane.
There they go.
The great OVRC rush of qualifying as all the cars, some cars get squeezed out. One of the cars crosses over the line a bit early then. Luckily they don't really penalise that, but you never know. Maybe one day, once you get bored and can't find any more things to worry about. Mark Whitford's got track position, but he's got one of the GT1s right behind him right now. I don't think he's going to last long in that position, as Robert Nygaard is behind him in the number 5 Saleen. Robin Nygaard has got past. Now Robin Nygaard has now got track position. And he's with the first car to polish at a time, with his teammate, his new teammate, Thomas Jensen behind, Mark Whitford who's in the other side, number 4. So all cars bar 1 is on the move right now. The only one not is David Simon. Well, I think it's the proper route through the first chicane then. Not the first chicane, the last chicane. So he cuts over it to get some bit of grass on the tyres. Alright, down into turn 14. Gaza, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I won't keep going because it's probably wrong. Underneath the ST bridge, and he's now going to start the first qualifying lap of the GT series at Imola, and off we go. 17 minutes left on the clock. Let's see who will get pole position. Of course, we don't have onboard cameras for the GT1s yet, so we're going to stick with this camera for now. Going now into turn 5 and turn 6. These are very tricky corners. You got to throw the car in. It's a bit wide there. It does not seem to invalidate his lap though, so he keeps going. As you can see, Tom Dentis in the background there. Then followed by one of the Nissans. Down from one top of the hill down to the bottom again. We'll turn 9.
The fastest Sector 1 so far has been taken by Caleb Gonzalez.
Been selling fastest Sector 1s during practice. He loses out a lot in Sector 2 though, so let's see if he can hopefully get those Sector 2s right. Into the chicane they go, all these GT1s. Sideways there by Nygaard. He's definitely getting... Thomas Jensen is definitely getting closer, so I can imagine something might happen on the back straight once the lap is set between these two cars. Maybe allow us to change position, a bit of slipstream work. These are teammates, so you never know what might happen between these two.
So Thomas Jensen was 2/10 faster than Caleb Gonzalez in Sector 2, so he took the fastest Sector 2 with that. As Robert Nygaard just crossed the finish line, as did Thomas Jensen. Jensen's at a 1:38.2.
And Gonzalez takes provisional pole. Charlie Darling crossed the line, and he puts himself P3 with us going to get a flood of cars going across the line now. So we've got our first GT3 time, and I can't work out where people are going. Robert Sunderland's next with one of the Nissans behind him. He's yet to set a time actually, so I'm wrong there. It's going to be very hard to work out what's going on. I think Caleb Gonzalez though is fastest in Sector 1 right now, and he's currently got provisional pole. Albie's managed to get to P3.
Yeah, so standings right now, Caleb Gonzalez P1, P2 Thomas Jensen, P3 Jorgen Walby, P4 Charlie Darling, P5 Robert Nygaard, P6 Sebastian Jr. and Contreras has set the fastest lap in GT3 so far.
And this is very early days in qualifying, so these results probably won't mean too much later on, obviously, as people are going to slowly set faster times as their fuel levels slowly start going down. Obviously, got to worry about tyre life, but it's nothing stopping you going back to the pit lane and grabbing a new set of tyres. One of the McLaren's off to the side there. I believe that's the McLaren of James Butler, I saw there off to the side. I couldn't tell which one it was. As Tom Dentis is now positional pole. As Gonzalez, unfortunately, does lose it and gets dropped down to P3. Looks like. Sebastian Bruno moves up to P4. 1.9 seconds off the pace. And that's a 1:37.9 by Tom Dentist. That is an insane lap. I've not seen a lap that quick around here, even in the leaderboards in GT1. Interesting enough, it does seem that Caleb Gonzalez is definitely the quickest through Sector 1. He consistently sets those both in practice and right now. Saying that though, Tom Dentis has also got a faster Sector 1.
So I just checked the leaderboard for GT1 at Imola, and the leaderboard is being led by Tom Dentis with a 138.0, so he just went under that in qualifying conditions. So that's very impressive. It's normally the leaderboard really gives you optimal track conditions.
Optimal tyre temps, optimal track conditions, optimal fuel. Gonzalez puts himself. I was really Tom Dentis' time. I was like, oh, Gonzalez is going fast, like 0.4 of a second down. Tom Dentis has put a 137.358. He's
7 tenths down on his leaderboard time.
He's absolutely flying right now in that Ford GT. Thomas Jensen has set his fastest lap so far with 138.072. Oh, that's insane.
So Conor Mathieson is about to cross the line, and he improved his time but not position. As Anton Quivalainen is on the straight now. He's currently down in P15, but we know he's capable of more in the GT3 Audi. He moves up into P12.
P4 in class. Charlie Garland can improve his time, but all times look silly now. I'm sorry. Like, 0.8 of a second off in Sector 2. Where did that time come from? I still can't get over that. He gained it all in the Sector 2, I believe. I don't have words. I don't have words even for that pole position time right now. That is a huge gap. I don't think anyone can get close to that. We'll find out. We've still got 10 minutes to go, but I just don't know what to think anymore.
So Robert Nygaard is trying to get out of P9, as I think Marcus Lawrence just took P1 in GT3.
Bad news.
So,
bad news for Denzo's new team in the SLS. Apparently David Simon's having issues in the lobby with his wheel, unfortunately, so he might be missing this race.
as Robert Nygaard just bent up to P7.
Oh, just lose a bit there in the first chicane. Does it get out the wall? Yes, he does. Very close to the wall, but not quite in it. When you have 25 cars on track, on server right now. David Simon is there, but I don't believe he'll be driving anytime soon. 2 cars yet to set times, which are Steve Higgins and James Butler. Sunderland's improving his times right now. Lucky some of the traffic in front of him does let him pass to continue on his hot lap. I swear the hose flashing on my display on the HUD overlay. I don't know what he's doing. Any idea what he's doing right now?
I have no idea.
Just...
Oh, he's flipping! Whoa! Look at him! He was just glitching through the ground, but now he's disconnected.
That might explain what was going on there. Will be currently trying to set an improved lap. Will be crossed the line, puts up P8. He moves himself ahead of Brunia.
So Thomas Jensen is trying to close up on Dentist, but he's not really competitive with him so far. Does like he is faster than Gonzalez. So let's see once he crosses the line. And he takes P2.
That's
Still 3 cents down on Dentist though.
That's still an impressive time. Like,
yeah.
No one was anywhere near that in practice. What is this, Formula 1? Hang on, so I'm gonna just turn my engine mode up to 11. Insert joke about party mode here. Right. Oh, can't disappear? Interesting. Interesting. My camera got forced to focus on Hoove. He's now back in the pit lane. He's back on the server now. Whatever's been going on with him, now back on the server. Marcus Lawrence currently first in class right now. We extend his lead right now with the McLarens of James Butler goes straight across there at turn 9. It now heads up to the chicane. I think he has been out a few times. I say, I don't think Tom Denton has been out much, but he has been out. He's been out 4 laps, compared to everyone else 5 laps. Raddock's gonna cross the line now. P6 goes up to P4. Nice drop to jump Matthias. Then Paul. I should first start referring to people by their 3-letter tags. Be a lot simpler.
So Matthiesen is improving right now, although he just had some GT3 traffic. So I don't know how much that's held him up.
The Mustang's the one car you don't have to be held behind. It's just not quick, that car at all, apart from the straight line. He does not unfortunately move position, he does only a faster lap unfortunately. Doesn't lose too much out, so I don't know how much he lost doing that. Over line right now, P4 in class right now, so he's looking to move himself up with 2 improved sectors. Currently the only Audi running right now. It's quite the opposite from in real life motorsports with GT3s. There's Audis everywhere. Only one Audi running. And he moves up to P12. So
yeah, a lot of Audis in real life.
One here. Meanwhile, a lot of Nissans. Obviously got to nerf the Nissan then. In Bop.
Do you see many Nissans in real life GT3? I don't think so.
You see like 2 maximum, which is like... and most of them are the out-of-date ones anyway. These are... technically these are 2013 here, 2012 era Nissans in in race room. Hopefully we're going to see a new one in the future. Depends really where the game goes. We would love to see a new one, because the new one looks really impressive now with all its modern aerodynamics and stuff.
Oh, as someone just... Yeah, Stephen Higgins had a spin. So he's still down in 21st. And he's back in the pit lane.
That's 3 minutes to go, so you want to get a lap out. You got to be heading out very soon. Like now, if you want to get another lap in. Some people will be able to set one more lap before the timer runs out. Maybe 2, depending on where you are on track.
So, Contreras is back at it again, trying to challenge Lawrence for a pole position in GT3.
If you're a Nissan fan, you must be very happy right now. You have a Nissan GT1
Yeah.
in P3, and then in GT3 you got 2 in P1 and 2. I think we'd probably make it better if it's all the other cars DNF for some reason, and it's only Nissans that finished.
So Contreras should just shave a few tenths off their time, so he's now a lot closer to Lawrence, but not overtaken.
Lawrence is
And
setting faster times as well right now, as he is going to cross the line. And he does not improve, so he lost a lot of time in sector 3, so something must have happened
yeah,
then.
Contreras is back in the pit lane, so he's not getting another lap in.
Sebastian Brunier is looking to improve his times, as he's already back in P9 in class. So he's got a lot of work to do, as unfortunately the difference between him and the GT3 is 2.3 seconds. Difference between the two cars right now, so he's got a bit of work to do. And again, this is a track where the GT1s will struggle a bit, especially the slower ones, just because it's a lot of corners. At straight line circuits, the GT1s obviously have a massive advantage in speed, but these corners, they don't quite have the advantage they need. Keep going. So 1 minute 30 to go, so I don't think we're going to... 1 minute 20 I mean, to go. I don't think we're going to see any other laps, unless people are already halfway on a lap. Smashing across the line, he puts himself P8. Jordan Wansink is currently in P16 overall. Maybe one of the last cars to cross the line, it seems. Does unfortunately not improve his time right now. I'm going to look around who is currently improving times. I don't think anyone's going to be able to finish anytime soon. Sebastian's on an improved lap right now, but I don't know where he is on track. I don't think he'll be close enough to really set a new time. 20 seconds left to go. Radek pulls into the pit lane. Jensen's just gone out on an out lap, so I'm guessing he's getting a bit more practice in. Right, there we go, there's quality done, and unfortunately I just missed the time to get the thing as we prepare to go racing. Right, quick predictions before we head off. Any predictions before we head out over to the track?
Yeah, I suspect some close racing, obviously. So I think let's see how the race pace goes between Thomas Jensen and Tom Dentist. So Dentist was clearly faster in qualifying, but let's see how that goes in the race when they have to save fuel and etc. etc. So that will be interesting. And
Right, we can soon be going green or
overall, I think just close fights all over the pack.
I think one car is in the pit lane right now. Can't tell. Right. So the rolling start will begin shortly. The GT1 start rolling away now. Right,
Oh, indeed, David Simon was in the pits and he's driving out now. So I don't know what his proper starting position is or what's gonna happen now.
Qualified, so I think he probably will hold at the end of the pit lane. Be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, he's parked at the pit lane exit right now.
Things the GT1 threes are rolling as well now, so
Yeah, I can hear them.
they're now rolling. And yeah, he is just waiting in the pit lane, it does seem. So he's just going to wait for the cars to let him part. Around we go. Now down towards and up the hill they're going towards the chicane. I don't actually know where the go marker is, I haven't checked. But assume will be on the pit limiter, I believe, in the chicane. Trying to see how this goes. Alright. The cars start forming up. Start weaving all over the place, keep tyre temps in. We are soon about to go racing. So we're going to go at the bridge, I believe. All the GT1s nicely compact together and
They are going.
Bit of scuffle behind and off across the line they go, and off we go racing for the round 2 of the
OVRC GT series.
There we go, I know what I'm saying.
Season 4.
GT3s are currently rolling right round now. They'll soon be going as well.
So I think Charlie Darling already got overtaken by Conor Matheson.
Quick look at GT3 as they now go into the bridge now. And they're now off as well, so GT3 is now underway, and Marcus Rossi gets a very good launch there, it does seem. They start all heading down to pit straight now. And there's your GT3 field coming through. Side-by-side action in the back there, it seems.
Yeah, Maxim van den Hove and Gordon Gunn are going into the chicane now, and Maxim had a little look up the inside, but decided to stay behind.
Quickly hopping over to the GT1 field, Thomas Jensen is closing on the back of Tom Dentist. Let's see if Tom Dentist can make that qualifying pace to work its magic in the race. They head round now towards the final 2 corners.
Oh, someone's off. David Simon just spun and he's back in the pit lane, so he's retired in the first lap in GT3.
I think his wheels are still having the issues, unfortunately for him. It's really unfortunate for him and his teammate, as they unfortunately will not get the points from that. As Tom Jensen's making the move on Tom Dentist around the outside. Doesn't seem to be able to make the move work though. Can't really go on the outside there. We'll probably have another go coming into turn 5. Willie, no, I think he's a bit too far back this time around. Oh! Gonzalez goes off in the background. No, that's the wrong car. Sorry, there we go. Gonzalez does go off, unfortunately loses a bunch of positions out. He's dropped to P6. He's got a bit of work to do now to gain his positions back up.
As Carballo just overtook an Imola in the GT3s. As Gavin Neff seems to have looked up the inside of Sutherland. Not making the move just yet, but he's staying close behind.
Conchares is moving all over the back of Lawrence right now. A bit earlier on, I believe they were side by side. And he's out around the back of that Nissan. He's going to pull out to the side, around the outside of turn 7. Don't think he'll be able to do it. No, he doesn't. He stops in behind for a bit longer now. It's bumper to bumper right now between the Nissan. Two Nissans right now as they head up the hill. Race. Be quite careful coming through there. These two are having a good old scrap at the front hill on the first couple of laps of this race. We're looking at the rear wing of the Nissan. They go through the chicane. You see some of the cars behind just trying to hang in there, and for them, what they want to happen is they want these two in the front to fight each other because that slows them down, allows them to possibly gain a position. It's the best interest, right? I guess to see Hillman's is hanging in the back there, so he's having a lot better race already than that Spa. Spa here was having a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah, David Simon is now reporting technical issues in the chat.
That's really unfortunate for him because, again, I don't think he was racing the SLS last time, but he's looking, I guess, for a new beginning here. And doesn't seem to be getting that, unfortunately. Hopefully for next time he will have his wheel fixed, because we want as many drivers as we can on the track. At the end of the day, not just about winning, it's about participating sometimes. As ooh, cover line is a bit wide there, out of turn 4. Oh, one of the Nissan nearly goes over. Lawrence loses it. It goes on 2 wheels then through turn 6, and he's losing positions. He's going to lose one to Mark Whitford. He's also dropped back a few positions. And that's not good news for Mark, as he's now back in quite far back. Well, he's dropped to P14. He's got a bit of work to do now to get his positions back up. Once again, GT3 always providing action. Unfortunately, I don't think the action was really what Mark was hoping for. But I make the move on Hillemans now, who's been passed once again by Mark Whitford. Oh, Mark Whitford loses it. He's now in the barriers. He's got to be careful now because there's a lot of cars coming through.
Yeah, we'll have to wait a long time before rejoining the track.
There he goes. He just managed to get through there without causing any contact, but he's now all the way down P21. So not the start of race he was wanting after basically not racing at all in the first race. We can move up the field. We are now Matthias right on the back of Radek, who is inherited P3 after Gonzalez had his incident. We can try and move up the grid.
Marcus Lawrence just overtook Hillemans. So he's making his way back up the field. We're trying to do that as quickly as possible, so he'll still have a chance at the win in the GT3.
Oh, I think Naf is off the track. He's lost it in the first chicane, Tamburello, and he's going to rejoin. One of the McLarens has got front damage on it. That's the McLaren of Carbarello, who's got front damage already. He had a lot of front damage last race. He's already got it this race in the first couple of laps, so that's not a good sign for him. Unfortunately, not a good sign for Naf on his first return race back to the OVRC. See if he can try and recover the situation. Mark Whitford now round the back of Gordon Gunn's McLaren. Trying to find the gap there. Doesn't seem to be there. He's hoping to make it as quick as possible, because the more time he spends behind this McLaren, the more time he loses. Again, does shift down there, so it seems like not really feeling confident enough to make the overtake then. Does have the slipstream now. The McLaren's not the quickest in a straight line. He's going to try and go over the outside. And he does seem to make the move there. Yes, he does. So Mark Whitford now back into P20. He's trying to make his charge once again up the field.
So it seems the field is spreading out a bit now, so there's some definitely some gaps forming with Thomas Jensen now 2 seconds ahead of Dentist. So he's putting ahead despite Dentist being a lot faster in qualifying.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't really see the pass happen. It's sort of. So Colin's trying to close in the back of Radek right now, as Contreras has made a gap from Kovalainen, and Marcus Lawrence has now made it into P3 in class, so he will be back in the points, the series to get paying points very shortly.
Conor Mathieson staying closely behind Radek Polexak. I think, yeah, they're all running a bit wide at the exit of there, so it's not much of an issue. As long as you don't go too much onto the gravel. But yeah, looks like a close battle is developing there for P3.
Meanwhile, all the way in P24, Naff is on his recovery drive, is closing the gap onto Carbarello, and so is Whitford closing the gap on Steve Higgins. So those are the few cars which have lost position are trying to gain back up, as Rad does seem to go a bit wide off the in at turn 10. Holds on position, but did sort of get a good old-fashioned race from timing bug there, as Darling managed to jump up to P1 for a second, and now back in P5 again. And
Now Robert Nygaard is in P1 and then P9 again.
The advanced strategies right here.
I hope that doesn't happen right on the finish line on the last lap. That would be a bit silly.
As we now get to our first bit of traffic already, as James Butler seems to have been 10 seconds back, so he must have some sort of incident. He gets passed by the GT1s right now. So already in, and we've got traffic. Oh, a bit of contact there by one of the GTs. Charlie Dine does seem to have a bit of contact with James Butler. He's ended up in the wall now. I don't know what's going to happen there, because that boy does look a bit like Charlie
Oh,
Dine.
Kevin Neff and Carballo are side by side. And there seems to be a bit of rubbing between them.
Oh, I believe Charlie Dine's just retired. So,
Indeed, he has. That's a shame.
what happened there?
Kevin Neff. Oh, what happened?
Oh, Naff is just going straight on chicane.
Yeah. It looks like he suddenly swerved to the right. So there might have been contact there. Either that or he was trying to avoid the back of the GT1 car in front of him. Maybe he broke too late.
He's being passed by a lot of traffic right now. As Tom Dentis is closing the gap now on to Thomas Jensen. I believe it might have been a mistake there by Tom Dentis, which has lost him the position, rather than a on-track pass as such. Let's see if he has the pace to manage to catch up again. Just to see what Charlie says, because unfortunately he is gone. No, what?
So Lawrence is very close to Kovalainen now. So he started P1 in class, then had an accident, and so he's making his way back up the field to try and challenge Contreras.
Charlie's made somewhat of a gap now. He's 4 seconds in front of Kovalainen right now. Carbelo's gone off the track as well. He's lost a lot of time to Naff, as Naff's made the pass past him. Oh, side by side by Lawrence coming into the turn 14. It's quite a common place to try and overtake, but quite a risky place as well. "15 minutes in." Marcus Lawrence is now round the back over line, pulls out to the side. He can make the move. He does look like he will be able to make the move work. Yes, he does. He's managed to move enough now into P2 in class. See if Kovalainen can make a move back on him. Interesting to see if he can. Tom Dennis has lost some time again on Thomas Jensen, so I think that was going on there, but he doesn't seem to be having quite the race pace he wanted. Mark Whitford's made a few more positions up. He's now in P17. I believe he's got past Vandy Ho. He's trying to hold on to this. I don't think he's got quite the pace to keep up with Mark. A bit of the GT traffic up ahead. That may be actually what's causing the issue for Tom. Trying to catch Thomas right now is the traffic. There is a lot of it going through right now. And again, this track seems to be a very hard track for them to overtake on, apart from the back straights, really. See how much this traffic will affect this race. Tom Dentis is now came very nearly a second towards Jensen now. Connor's trying to do the same with Radek. So far, as we're gonna head into the 42-minute mark, we've had 2 retirements so far, and there's a lot of position changes. As for some of the front runners, a bit of drama early on has caused them to fall back down the order a bit and have to work on comeback drives. These include Mark Whitford, Caleb Gonzalez.
Oh, Kevin Nevis off.
Kevin Nevis off again. Not the best comeback drive for him, as he's now down in P23. So he's not in the best start again, but hopefully he can get back himself up and hopefully he can gain a few positions again. I think maybe it's because it's Z4, maybe cursed. At number 19, that particular livery has caused me no success compared to my old car, so it's obviously that car. And
maybe it's just you being incompetent.
Oof.
Oof.
Called out on stream and insulted. I feel offended now.
Good.
I mean, you've retired before me, so you know, I get more points. Right. Right now, I see Connor trying to close in on Radek. He's getting closer and closer. As you can see, just in front, Mark Whitford closing in on Distendu. So SLS is doing not too badly, actually. Now got to worry about the GT1s coming behind, and this might play into Connor's favour now, because those GT3s are really blocking Radek right now, and he can't really do anything about them. So they're gonna keep one by one they go. Ooh, there's a bit close there between the 2 cars as Radek goes off very wide, and there goes Dendo into the wall. Still going, can he still go? Yes he can. Got a lot of front end damage there. That's an awful lot of front end damage there for Dendo. Don't know quite what happened there, but I think it's just a bad place that's being there in the wrong time. You're in a fight with Mark Whitford, and you've got 2 fighting GTs coming along, GT1s coming along as well, and there's nothing really you can do in that sort of situation, unfortunately. That's Radek's turn to try and close down Connor. Connor does a little power Power slide out the chicane. Nothing really going on there. Tom Dentis is still trying to close on the gap on Thomas Jensen, but it seems the traffic just seems to get in the way of those two right now. Because you watch one moment they're really close to each other, next moment they're like nowhere near each other. I think traffic is playing us. It's not playing in Tom Dentis's favour. Well, it's not much in a favour as he hoped for anyway. Connor's having really trouble with his tyres though right now. Oh! The car has hit the wall in front, or that is a soundbite? Can't tell, but I heard a thump on through my headphones, and I don't know if that was anything to get worried about, or just the sound effects being weird. Meanwhile, Onzig is now closing on the back of Hillemans. Hillemans is trying to close the gap down on Siek in front. Endo is now closing the back of Gunn, and Onzig is closing back of Hillemans. And also Radak's closing the back of Mathiasen as well. A lot of fights going on track right now.
Kevin Neff is also closing up on Carballo now, so he's trying to make his way back up the field after his crash. And they are on the straight now. Coming up to the first chicane.
Naff goes, woo, that's a lot of... That's very late braking there by Naff there to get past.
Yeah, nicely done.
Very nicely done there by Naff, and Naff has now taken a position. He's now back into 322. Hopefully he can make his way further up the grid. As Dendo's made his way past Gunn. Oh, and Cowboy's gonna end up in the barrier just about.
I think he just about avoided the barrier maybe, but
Oh,
it's not looking in good shape.
Hillemans has made the move on Siak as the GT1s are trying to get past now. And that's blocked Connor really badly now. So now he's got Radek right behind him again. So while for the top positions the traffic is not helping, this fight is seriously getting in the way between these two. It keeps closing the gap up every time. As Francis to make the move now in front, round into the first chicane. Doesn't look like he can make it happen. But they are very close to each other now. I can't tell if Lawrence is closing the gap now on to Contreras. I believe he is, very slowly. Might be worth looking at that.
Lawrence was a couple seconds faster than Contreras on that last lap, but that might have been traffic. So we don't know if that's on pace or not.
Traffic seems to be playing a lot more havoc this race than it was at Spa. While Radek's gonna make the move. He's on the inside. And Colin has to stop back for another couple of laps as we enter the 34-minute mark. The pit stops will probably happen. Oh no! Colin makes the move back again into turn 14. Radek had just the position there for a couple of seconds and lost it again. And now there's a slipstream again, getting down the main straight. These two just can't get away from each other, can they? They probably do want to get away from each other soon because Gonzalez is closing on them very quickly. He's a lot closer than he was before, so there might be a three-way fight going on here very shortly as Radek does make the move into the first chicane. Oof.
Tom Dent is very closely behind Thomas Jensen now.
Yeah, I think it's traffic going the way there, Thomas Jensen, so it'll be interesting to see if Jensen can finally regain the lead again at the top of the hill once. Bit of traffic up ahead of one of the Nissans, I believe that is Contreras, the lead GT3 car. We've got a bit of work to do to get past.
And that is indeed Contreras. Just checked.
But the other car, Lawrence is definitely closing the gap between those two cars. And we do have a reason, unfortunately, for Charlie's retirement. It was due to networking issues, similar issue to what Mark Whitford was having earlier. With the cars blipping in and out, he decided to retire just to not cause any more damage. Unfortunately, he did, I believe, hit Gordon Gunn there. Which, fortunately, did sort of result in him getting hit in the walls. Oh, Marcus Lawrence has made an off. Oh,
And
Marcus is in the pit lane.
He's in the pits. Yeah, he's making his pit stop. So that's the first pit stop we are having today.
Guess it's time for you to work your magic then and track all those pit stops because
Yep.
we have a lot of work to do it.
And Marcus Lawrence is changing tires, so not going for the risky strategy here.
Tom Denton is very all over the back of Thomas Jensen's Saline right now. And the halfway point. So I think it's going to be interesting how the pit stop's going to work out for these two. Are they going to be reactionary? Are they going to one's going to pit? Who's going to pit first? Who's going to pit second? We don't know yet. They're under half a second between each other right now. Been at it for a few laps, and I believe we're going to have a lot of clean air right now because all the GT3 traffic is now behind them. So, nothing to get in the way of this fight for a while, I think.
So Lawrence is all the way down in 22nd position after that pit stop. He's behind Carballo.
Doesn't seem like Tom Denton can get really close enough to make a move on the place where he can. I mean, he is definitely fast through Sector 2, and I think that's where he's making most of his time up. But unfortunately, you can't really pass in Sector 2 just because it's all lots of twisty corners and that sort of thing. Oh, he goes very wide there.
As Contreras is in the pits. The leader in GT3, or at least he was the leader in GT3 before he went into the pit lane. I just spotted another car driving in the pit lane as well. And that looks to be Pepijn Hillemans. Is there someone else going through? Contreras is changing tires as well.
Gonzalez is closing on the back of Conor Mathieusen, and he's also trying to close on the back of Radek.
So Hillemans is also changing tires, and James Butler is also in the pits.
And just a bit of time there to Jensen. As Gonzalez has passed Connor. So Gonzalez has now made his way up the field now. Oh, and I did. No, that's a timing bug.
Yeah, Contreras has rejoined in 20th position. So he's got Marcus Lawrence fighting
Oh,
Elo Caballo right behind him.
Jensen's in the pits. Jensen's in the pit lane.
Jensen is in the pits. And someone else as well I can see. That was still James Butler, so he's rejoining the track now.
So it's all on Tom Dentist now to see if
Oh, Kevin Neff is off again.
It's not been the best race for him so far, has it? As he's enough
As
off.
Radek Palexek is also in the pits.
The plane's going to get fairly busy very soon, as Tom Dentist is probably going to pit this.
Conor Mathieson is also in the pits.
So it's halfway point pit stops. What's Tom Dentist going to do now? Because he is going to be the one that's going to make the play. He's either going to do it. He's either going to pit this lap, or he's going to do a very late pit stop.
Jensen is changing tires.
Yes, I think the GT1s are all going to change tires.
Yeah. Oh, Palexek did not change tires, so he's going to be the first out of the pit lane. Out of all the GT1s making their pit stop right now.
That's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out, as he is now back out on track.
So it looks like just about everyone is going into the pit lane right now. And see, was that Anton?
I think Anton is in the pit lane. He's dropped down to P15.
Yeah, Anton is now coming out of the pit lane, so he did not change tires.
Oh,
so
and
that's
Tom
going to be interesting
Dentist
in
is
GT3.
in the pit now. There's a few other cars in the pit lane right now, but Tom Dentist is now in the pit lane.
Robert Nygaard and Sebastian Bruni are both out on track again.
I saw that, and Robert's just in front of them.
A bunch of GT3 pit stops happening as well. Unfortunately, kind of difficult to keep track on all of them, so I will give priority to the GT1s, as Caleb Gonzalez also into the pit lane now.
We have another retirement,
As well as Jorgen Walby.
We have another retirement now, unfortunately, as Kevin Naff has unfortunately retired due to pedal issues. He will be unfortunately out of the race for his return race back to the OVRC has not been the best. Hopefully he can fix those pedals soon, as Tom Dentist is currently on the jacks.
Yeah, he is changing tires, and it looks like Gonzalez is also changing tires.
He's also changing
and
tires.
so is Walby.
Tom Dentist is now on the move again. Will he appear? And he's out the pit lane, and he's jumped Thomas Jensen by 3 seconds. So I don't know what he's doing there. He's either doing some extreme fuel saving, or he's just got some sort of maths calculation done in his head, because he has jumped him, and that's gonna mean a lot for this race, I think.
So Radek was the only one of the GT1s to not change tires, so that's going to be interesting to see how the others can catch up. He was not really fighting for the win, but he is in first position right now.
I mean, he is definitely now, because that strategy we call is a move you make if you want to win. Gonzalez has lost a place to Connor through the pit stops, I believe, and now he's right behind him. The things, I think, got a lot more interesting after the pit stops.
Oh, Thomas Sayek is off.
Gonzalez.
And Sayek is also into the pit lane.
Gonzalez has a bit of a loose end then. Just coming down the hill. As the two teammate Nissans pass each other, as Lance gets past Wanzik. So Lance is now back in his charge again to try and catch up to. He's lost a lot of time, it seems, because Kovaline's in front of him right now. don't actually know what happened there because he has lost an awful lot of time to Kovalainen, who is now 2 seconds behind Contreras. So, Kovalainen take tyres.
No, he didn't.
Okay, so that explains it then. So, can you make that Audi last the entire distance? That is the question, as Connor gets past him just now.
As Melee is into the pit lane. So it looks like the last of the GT3 stops are happening right now.
Oh, when Gonzalez is getting around past Atting Kovalainen. Lost a lot of time there, though. Hillman's now got to deal with the 2 Nissan teammates, the orange Nissans in front of him. Robert Sunderland and Thomas Siek, as he's now down at P20, so he's not had a great thing out of the pit stops. Carbella is the only car yet to is the only car not to have gone the pits yet, I believe. Also, Steve Higgin. Mark hasn't been in either. I'm not paying any attention at all. A lot of cars haven't been in it.
Yeah, Mark Whitford, Gordon Gunn and Stephen Higgins have not been in the pit lane yet. As has Eloy Carballo. And looks like Jorgen Walby actually pitted twice. So I think he got a penalty or something. Speeding in the pit lane maybe.
Yeah, it's a very harsh pit lane. The line's not obvious. What I generally do is there's a line before the pit lane that you slam the brakes on, you should be able to slow down just in time. Clemens is getting very close to the back of Sunderland's car though.
Yeah, also Tom Dentist is catching up to Radek rather quickly. So I don't think Radek will keep that first position for very long.
That does have the advantage now over Connor, so I think that move was very much a move to guarantee him a podium. See if he can keep himself together over the rest of the race. So we just see what these 2 Nissans ahead of Hillerman's do, because he's obviously teammates, so I don't know if there'll be much fighting between them. Or will they decide that to not fight and try and just gain as much lap time as possible? Hillerman is definitely fastest of these cars. Getting very close to the back now.
Sebastian Brunier closing up on Robert Nygaard. Looks like they got a bit of GT3 traffic in the way in Eloy Carballo.
Oh, there's a bit of contact with Hillerman's and one of the Nissans. Just slow down and let the Nissan continue away, but that was a big old thump then.
Stephen Higgins is in the pits now.
There's Carbello, it probably is Carbello down the Carbello's still out on track. He's getting passed by Marcus Lawrence now. Just in the background as we hear what Sebastian Bruno trying to catch up onto Robert Nygaard. So, 20 minutes to go in this race, and it's so far been Very interesting one as Tom Dentist is trying to slow goes down on Radek, but interesting Jensen's not closing the gap on Tom Dentist. I have a feeling that the early overtake by Jensen was purely based either on traffic or based off incidents, because he's staying around that 4-second mark, not gaining much on him.
Swansink is getting very close to Corballo now, going down the hill. So they're always looking on the inside, and Corballo just ran wide onto the gravel, so looks like Wensink managed to make his way past.
Right, the lead of GT1. Dentist is now right behind Radek, and Radek has to cut over because he's not got the grip there at all. He's going to be on the outside line in the chicane. And Dentist has made the overtake. So Dentist is now into P1. He's not been there since the first couple of laps. 20 minutes to go to protect his lead as Radek, unfortunately, I don't think we have been moved back. He doesn't have the grip on the tyres. Those tyres are probably being absolutely shot at this point. I mean, this the reason why most drivers do not decide to do the no tyre strategy, because it doesn't quite work nearly as well as the GT3 cars. Right, Hillerman's now around the back of Sunderland still. Back riding on board again.
Mark Whitford is in the pits.
Very late stop by him. I think he might do a splash and dash. Mark.
So it looks like him and... I don't think Whitford changed tires there.
I don't think he will. I think he's doing a splash and dash. Or not splash and dash, but a splash of fuel and going out. I mean, Gordon Gunn's the only car not to pit stop yet, I believe. Oh, Carvalho hasn't pit stopped either.
So the interesting thing about that is Whitford is now leading GT3. So you'll have Contreras coming up behind him rather quickly, because he did change tires. So
Gordon
this will be
Gunn's in the
interesting.
pits. Well, I don't think Radek's going to keep his position much longer, as he's now getting closed behind by Thomas Jensen. I think this strategy did, I think, successfully secure him a podium spot, but I don't think it secured him like up. I think he's going to be stuck on the bottom step, because he does have quite a big gap to Connor, but don't think he's going to have much more outside of that.
As Gordon Gunn just did his pit stop, so he's out on track again now with Eloy Carvalho, the only driver in GT3 to not have made a pit stop.
Saying that, he's in the pits right now.
Ah, there he is.
Sebastian Bruno right on the back of Robert Nygaard right now. Has got a bit of GT3 traffic up ahead. Full fight in P6 and 7 in class.
So it looks like Carvalho did not change tires. So that's going to be interesting. His pace hasn't been very good all race.
Two of the GT3s
So
dive straight across the chicane at the same time. Both Butler and Amelie just cut over the chicane. And Amelie...
Thomas Jensen is now really close to Pelaxak.
Yep.
So he'll be trying to overtake pretty soon.
I don't think those tyres are doing him any favours right now at all. Saleen versus Saleen, basically the same. Well, it's the same car, but the difference is one's got a whole half an hour of all the tyres on, and there we go. There's the move made. I don't think Radek's going to be much to fight back with. Saying that, nope, no grip. I don't think you can't put the power down these much, because these cars always don't have traction control. So in the GT3, you can whack at the traction control to keep yourself a lot more stable through when you got worn tyres, but these cars don't have any of that. So
Imola is in the pit lane for the 4th time now.
4th time.
So that's interesting.
The rare 4th stop strategy. Sebastian Bruno around the back of Robert Nygaard. Try and take some points away from Thomas Jensen's team, the OVRC team, which is not really the correct name, but we'll live with it for now. And Red has dropped below 1 second behind Thomas Jensen now. Sebastian goes for the move.
Yep.
He does
That's
make
just
it.
about to say.
No. Nah, my guy's not close enough for me to make a cutback move then. And there we go. I believe he's made the move work. So Sebastian has definitely made a move now. As Gonzalez trying to move on to Connor now. Both in this Nissan trying to move up their positions. Connor's going to hopefully fight for this position all his life because this is only points paying position for his team right now. And it seems that all the team cars are still in the game apart from Thomas Dentis. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks we may see Tom Dentis with a teammate. That'd be interesting to see. But right now it does seem to be a fight between these two, the Nissan and the Ford now, with 13 minutes left on the clock. Thomas Siek is trying to close on the back of Dendu. As Hillemans has dropped back, I just realised that he was fighting with the two Nissans in front and he's dropped all the way down to P19, so this must have happened there. Oh, as Mark is in the pit lane again.
Indeed, he is.
So something must have happened there.
That's weird.
He's on fuel because he's turning the ignition off. So he's on the fuel stop. He's on tyres.
Yeah. So I guess he wasn't confident in the worn tires after all.
I think he's going to lose a couple positions. He's going to lose a lot of position to Elvis now.
Yeah.
He's going to lose it to Wanzik as well. So I don't know, you keep track of him. Meanwhile, Gonzalez is trying to close on the back of Connor still. So the GT3 traffic is ahead of them.
So as Whitford is rejoining the track now, so looks like he will be in 15th or actually 16th if he's rejoined in 16th position.
That's going to be really unfortunate for him, it seems, because quite understand the decision making behind that. I mean, obviously, I guess he's not comfortable with it, but to be fair, it's probably better to stick it out and hope it worked, because now you've lost even more positions out of being hesitant. And I think that's a common mistake people do. If you don't feel confident with doing it, don't do it in the first place. You're going to lose more time out of sticking with it, I think, than actually doing the pit. Oh! Gonzalez makes the move on Connor. Diving through the first chicane there, but oh, he loses the back end on the power. Does seem to have made the move work, so Gonzalez moves up a position.
Yes, up into P4.
Oh, no, he goes very wide off.
That's a big one.
That's a big off, and he hits the wall there.
Into the barrier.
The car still is running, it seems, so...
Yeah, so it looks like he'll still get on the track before Brunier arrives.
What happened there? His rear tyres are cooked or something. He's really struggling with the power, putting the power down. So Mark Woodford's now on the back of Robert Sunderland as they're now fighting. He's trying to fight his way back up the order again after doing a very late pit stop. 10 minutes to go, so see what you can do in this time. There's a little situation by the Nissan, but the Nissan is a bit quicker in the straight line than the Porsche. pull out to the side here? No, he can't. He's still a bit too far behind. That Nissan's got so much straight line speed. It's even for a car like the Porsche, which is very well known for being very balanced everywhere. It's very good in all aspects. Struggling a lot behind that Nissan. Oh, and now he's probably off the track. Now Mark Whitford's got Dendo to deal with. He's got 3-second gap to make up in 9 minutes 30 seconds. As the GT's ones are now going back through the GT3 traffic. Do another retirement? I think we do. We've got a few retirements actually.
Well, Koen van den Imola hasn't technically retired, but he's been in pits for a very long time now, so he's not going anywhere, it seems.
He's trying to close in the back of Nygaard. GT1 traffic on Robert. He's trying to close down. He is closing the gap with Dendo now. Under a second now.
So yeah, he is closing up rather quickly.
Oh, I think Wolby is closing up very quickly to Nygaard.
Indeed, and Wolby actually made his way past Nygaard.
Mark's made his way around Dendo as well. What's going on here with Nygaard? He's gone very slow. He's fighting back up again, but he didn't stop at all, so I guess he went a bit wide or something like.
Yeah, must have made a mistake.
Right, Mark Whitford has now made his way up into P14. He's now going to close another 3-second gap to Thomas Siak to make his way into P5 in class. As we are slowly reaching.
Oh, there's a big crash at
Oh!
let's see.
Yeah, it's hit
Forgot the
the
corner name.
leader in GT3 with Carbello, so something must have happened there. Oh no! I just watched that there. I think Kuma just did a bit of a revenge punt hit towards Carbello then.
And yeah, that's whatever happened there allowed Quiffelainen to take P1 in class.
He's got quite a big lead now. He's got something must have happened there. I think the stewards are going to have to look at that after the race. Because that was a serious incident, no matter what. Nearly took out one of the GT. I think it did because Sebastian's dropped down to P8. Yeah, Sebastian got involved in it. So that's ruined 2 cars' races, in theory. So I think there's going to be a serious inquiry there by the stewards because both Contreras and Sebastian got affected by whatever happened there. Not the best way to end this race as we've got under 6 minutes to go. End the race. Mark Whitford's now right on the back again on Siak.
Yeah, Sutherland is also closing up on Dendo, so they're fighting for a P15 overall.
Oh, Mark Wolf is going for the outside round the start finish straight. He's got the straight line advantage, it does seem. Nissan comes back for it. Who will win under the brakes? It does seem like Mark Whitford comes out on top there. So Mark Whitford now up into P5 in class. So he is quite far back now. Oh, Mark Lawrence have an issue? Oh, Mark Lawrence has another bit of contact with the Carbello again. This is going to be an issue now, I think. That's another of the GT3 cars being hit then. Luckily, he didn't lose any positions out of that, but that's something going on there. Oh, and one guns in the gravel trap at turn 9. Don't have any contact with anyone, but he's lost a few positions out. He's got a bit of front damage onto his front McLaren. There seems to be a lot of stuff going on in the last 10 minutes of this race. Not all of it
Yeah.
for the best.
Mark Whitford is in the pits again.
Something's up with him. Why is he back in the pits again?
I don't know.
He's pulling over again to stop.
And immediately starting back up again.
Underfueled.
I guess so.
Oh no, Mark, not like this.
Not like this.
Not like
Oh,
this.
poor Mark.
What an awful race for him so far, and hopefully he can salvage something out of it. He's got 2 minutes to gain. No, you can't get anything out of this. Oh, poor Mark. No easy finish this time. Sunderland's around the back of Dendo right now. Dendo looking a bit slow right now in his SLS, but not a bad result for the SLS. Car which is rarely used outside of caged or public lobbies. Doing very well right now. One minute 30 to go. I think it'd be 2 more this lap plus 1 more for most of these guys right now. See as don't know how long a lap is around here, but currently Tom Dennis is got quite a safe margin of 7 seconds over Tom Jensen. And Hove is now closing on the back of Sunderland. So Hove, who started off having connection issues and all that kind of jazz, is now back on, and he's looking to try and make up his lost positions. So, 30 seconds to go. I think for these GT cars, this will be the last lap, unless, depending where Tom Dentis is. No, it'll be 1 more lap after this as Tom Dentis crosses the line with 20 seconds to go. There'll be 1 more lap left to go in this race, and it's all to play for. With 2 more laps to go for most of these guys. Dendo's got a lot of angry got to deal with now. 2 GT3s. He's got one of the Mustangs is going very slow then.
That's Imola, who had been in the pit lane for a very long time, so I'm not sure what he's doing out on track again.
A few good laps down.
And now he's back in the pit lane, retired.
What on earth happened there? He was going very slow and split. I believe it's Sebastian. No, it's Gonzalez. Oh, I think I have another incident somewhere. Oh, Wolby's in the pit lane. Wolby's retired. Don't know what's going on there, but something must have happened. Meanwhile, Dendo's trying to fight on for his life with that damaged SLS. He had a very early incident, unfortunately, which is why he got so much damage in the front end. But he's trying to keep his position at all costs. In the last lap, Tom Dentist is going to go through the final 2 corners right now. Hoover's now closing on the back of Sunderland.
As Tom Dentist is now on the start-finish straight, about to cross the line to win this race.
So he takes his first win in for quite a while now.
Yeah, and
no,
Thomas Jensen crossed the line in second, so they'll be tied in the championship now.
Tom took the Laguna Seca last season, so it's not been a while. It's been 1 race actually. It feels like a long time. But Dendo cuts across the grass then and loses the back end.
Whitford is stopped on track.
Dendo's lost a lot of 2 positions out there. He's going to lose maybe 1 more as he's spun there. Hove is right behind now, trying to make the move around the outside. Doesn't look like he can make it though. Can't really have anywhere to go there. And looks like Hoover's going to stay in P14 for now. As some of them just come home into P13. Meanwhile, Robert Knight. Oh, Gonzalez is in the pit lane again!
Is retired, actually.
Not again! Wait, has he already finished across the line? He has to cross the line. No way he could retire.
Maybe he did.
We find out as the cars are coming past right now. Where they...
Yeah, he's staying in P5, so I guess he did finish.
He did finish. Oh.
Okay, that's good.
Oh my god, I could not survive if it wasn't. I would not survive that. Kovalainen is coming across the line to take GT3 victory. First victory in quite a while for him in GT3. And I don't think he won it once in season 3, but I can't remember which race he won. And there's your results. Tom Dentist takes his first win of this season. And so does Kovalainen. He takes P1 in GT3. There's a quick race roll. Unfortunately, Mark did DNF, so did Wolby. Amelie also DNF'd. Naff DNF a bit earlier on. Charlie Darling before the halfway point. Simon didn't really get off past the first lap, unfortunately. So there you go, that is the race over. And we shall possibly get some interviews, because I think we've got some very happy people to interview now. Quickly, let's do that as I get the results and all that good stuff done right now, while we wait for a possible interview. Right, let's quickly change to the old commentary box. We'll be right back. Mic check.
Mic check.
Right, hang on. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Can we just say one thing first? That qualifying, where did that lap come from?
I'm not sure. I never really tried qualifying up until qualifying.
Because
So, yeah, it was quite a good lap, but I think I had another 10th in the first corner, but apart from that, it was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, because when we were watching, we didn't really pay attention, and we just saw you like, oh yeah. Then we watched one of the other cars come through. It's like, oh, he's come second, and he's like 0.4 off or something like that, ridiculous. So we're like, hang on a second, when Tom set this lap?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
It was one of the best laps I've seen in a while. I mean, I didn't see it obviously in person, but in terms of seeing it afterwards, that was a hell of a lap. Quickly to the race now. So very early, you obviously were pole, and then what happened? We sort of missed it, but you somehow ended up P2. Did you have an incident, or was it just an overtake?
I think I can't remember where I made a mistake. I think I went off at the hairpin, maybe. I can't remember exactly where. And then I just sort of, I'm not sure what happened, but I just didn't have pace in the first stint.
Yeah. Then you made your pit stop and you jumped him, which by like 6 seconds at the time or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that I think the in lap was somehow that was almost my fastest lap. I'm not sure how I did that, but yeah, I guess it was just clean air and not having to lap any traffic. Yeah, and just sort of got in the zone after that.
I mean, how was the traffic? Because we were watching you when you're trying to chase down Thomas originally. You got very close to him and traffic would appear and the gap would pull out again. Was it very difficult to deal with at Imola compared to Spa?
Yeah, it was more difficult. You sort of caught him in more awkward places, but I was quite patient compared to Spa, and you sort of, if you've got the pace, then you sort of claw it back eventually. So I wasn't too rushed.
Sort of anything you'd like to add, Owen?
Not really, and congrats on the win.
Thank you. Yep, congrats, and we'll send you back to your fellow drivers.
Bye.
Bye. Right, that was Tom, so he's won his first race of the season. They must be very chuffed about that indeed. Let's see if we can get one of Anton Kovalainen, who must be quite happy right now. He's also won his first race of the season. Okay, we won't get an interview, unfortunately, with Anton Kovalainen, but he must be very happy about his win. Did not that he happen due to a fair on-track overtake, but it's a win. Right, let's quickly move back over again to the other one, so we have a bit of better connection. Right, we're back in the nice new commentary box, sponsored by. Not really sponsored at all. So there we go. There is round 2 over and done with. The league standings will obviously be up a bit later on our website. We're just going to upload those very shortly. As well as if you join our Discord, you can have a discussion with some of the drivers and have a good old chat there. And thank you for everyone for joining in this race. It was an interesting one. In some very good ways, some very bad ways.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we call it off? Well, not off, but call it for today.
Just once again, thanking everyone for joining us today on the stream, and hopefully it was fun to watch. And don't forget to like the like button if you like video, subscribe.
You heard the man. Thank you everyone for
I'm
tuning in.
good at this.
You're good. We're good at this. We're professionals. Thank you everyone for tuning in again, and we'll see you next week for check. Hang on, make sure I get this right. It'll be Zandvoort in touring cars. Always good fun.
Woohoo!
See you then, everyone.